Page 17, Merry Mix-Up. On page 14, we got some more stuff to do. It's good practice. You need to know the stuff. It's a good review. They want you to identify the symbols in the circles above the seals. I guess they're supposed to be balls that the seals are playing with. Now this gets a little tricky here because if you look at the seals on their tails, there's words. They want you to find the symbol in the ball that goes with one of the words, not both of them, just one of the words in the seal, in the tail of the seal. And you draw a line connecting the ball to the seal. I think you can draw a line to the nose on the seal, makes more sense. I don't see any point in drawing a line to the seal's tail. Just draw it to the nose of the seal. For instance, in that first ball, remember that is a hold or a fermata. So you find the seal that says hold or fermata, one or the other. And if I look around, I see the first seal says hold, it says sharp and hold. The hold is what I'm after. That means I'm going to draw a line from that first ball down to the nose on the seal, the first seal. Connect them. Then the second ball, though, that's a flat sign, so you got to find the seal that says flat, and that's the second one. So you draw a line to the second seal, and so forth. You go through. If you have any questions on these, you let me know. Gets a little tricky at the end of the second, there at the bottom, page 14, the last ball. That mess in there, that stands for 4/4 time. So there, the line goes to the middle seal there at the bottom for 4/4 time. Yeah, it's common time. There's nothing says common time, but it's common time's the same as 4/4 time, so that works okay. Then on page 15, we got lighthouses we got to deal with, and they want you to put the name of the note underneath the staff there, right under the note, on each lighthouse. Supposedly, these are stairs going up, spiral stairs going up to the lighthouse. I don't know. For instance, in the first lighthouse, those three notes there in the treble clef staff, that's the first one, a G, a B, and a D. You just put in those letter names, and then the bottom staff, the bass clef staff, that's a C, an E, and a G, and you put in those letter names. You should know all these letter names instantly by now. Really, it's important. So you can do all that. If you have any questions, you're welcome to ask. Then on page 16, we got these P's and pods and things or whatever going. I think what they want you to do is add up the total counts in the pod. The pod is that thing where the notes represent the P's and this is the pod. Use your imagination, it helps a little. Add up the total number of beats and put that number in the pod somewhere. I guess they're saying put it in the leaf of the pod. Okay, put it in the leaf then. I don't care where you put it, just put it. For instance, in the first one, you see 2 quarter notes, a half note, and a whole note. We're going to pretend a quarter note gets a count. See, they don't tell you how many counts anything gets, so if they don't tell you, there's no way you can know how many beats are in these pods. It could be anything. So we're going to pretend a quarter note gets a count because that's all we've had so far. And if a quarter note gets a count, you add them up. Well, 2 quarter notes is 2 counts. A half note is 2 counts. And a whole note is 4 counts. So you add all that up, that's 8 counts. So you'd put an 8 in the leaf of that pod. The second pod, go across. The second pod, half note, 2/8 notes, 2 quarter notes. Well, a half note's 2. 2/8 notes together makes 1. And then that's 2 more. So there you got a total of 5 counts in the second one. Then the second line, all these 1/8 notes, you see them beamed together, 4 at a time. Well, 2/8 notes to a beat, so it's like they're beamed together at 2 beats at a time. And there'll be 4 beats total for 1/8 notes. And then the next one, go across, a whole note, 2 half notes. Well, a whole note gets 4 counts, a half note gets 2, so we're looking at 8 counts there total. And third line, well, we got a mess here. Well, there's 1, and then 2/8 notes is another, and another, that's 3, and the dotted half note is the same as 3 quarter notes, just memorize that. So it's a total of 6 counts in that pod. And the next one going across, 2/8 notes is 1, a half note is 2, that's 3, and then 2 more 1/8 notes is another 1, so that's 4 counts total. And then the third line down, you got 3 whole notes. Well, each one is 4 counts. You can do those. That's 12 counts total on that one. Going across, it's dotted half note, dotted half note. Remember, a dotted half note is the same as 3 quarter notes. So it's like we got 3, 3, and 3 here. That's 9 counts total. And then the last row, half note, 2 quarter notes. Well, a half note is 2. 2 quarter notes is 2. That's 4 total. Then another half note is 2 more. That makes it 6. And then 2 eighth notes, that's 1. That makes it 7. So there's 7 counts in that pod. It's the last row, the first pod. And then the last one at the bottom of the page, well, 2 quarter notes is 2 counts. 2 eighth notes is 1. And we got, it doesn't matter if they're beamed together or if they're separate. So you got 4 eighth notes total in that pod. That's 2 counts for the eighth notes. And then that's 4 counts total for the pod. So you put in a 4. I gave you all the answers. I went kind of quick. It could be confusing. Again, if you have questions, you're welcome to ask. Now, at the top of page 17, they're giving you another new note. And this one finishes off the upper clef, the treble clef. The top line, that's an F up here. You got middle C, you're going past this C on up to this F. And that gives you all the notes in the treble clef staff. We've had them all now, all through here, including middle C. I'll leave it up to you to just know that note. You need to know what it note. You need to know what it's called. No. Let's look at Merry Mix-Up, because it looks like it really is mixed up, but I don't know about the Merry part. It's 3 lines long, treble and bass clef, no sharps or flats in the key signature, C major, 4/4 time signature. We got eighth notes, quarter notes, half notes, and whole notes. So the gang's all here. Now, this one, for the most part, is playing one hand at a time, so I'm going to take both hands together. It shortens the video a little bit. Right hand starts here, and you're not moving around. So that first finger number is the only finger number you need here. You don't need that 2 in the third measure. You need to be able to read these finger numbers. And the left hand starts a middle C here. And so we're in here. Now the left hand is moving around a little bit, so we'll get there. I'll talk about that. So at the beginning of 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2, 1 and 4 and. Get the idea? You don't need a 2 finger number there. Read the note. Second line is similar to that. Last line, this gets a little trickier because the left hand has to move. The right hand is still here. And sometime during the rest, the left hand has to come down here. Put little finger on C. You're just coming from here to here. You got plenty of time to do it. Just while the right hand is playing, you come down here. Be ready. And then you're here. We're using the awkward fingers here. And that's kind of good because we need to work them. All I'm doing is I'm transferring weight from finger to finger. I'm just rolling it. I'm not holding the hand still and trying to use the fingers. I'm just rolling it. I'm going from here to here. I exaggerate it so you can see it better, but really it's just a real small motion. And then both hands together. C. This is good practice. You should do this in both hands. If you're going to do this, you should do that. So you could do this and use these notes. And here. This way you're working both hands. Awkward fingers in both hands. Good practice. Anyway, you go through and get the notes working. Then go back through and get rid of any hesitations you've got anywhere. And then we'll think about the articulation. They do give you some here. You got staccatos. The dots. I'm going to flex at the wrist, short. And then an accent. Just play a little louder, just a little louder. Yeah, just a little louder. And the last line, there's nothing. Connect everything in the last line, just connect it. Phrasing. I'll come back to the phrasing when I get to the interpretation. So I'm going to move the phrasing now to the interpretation part of my process I'm going through. The articulation, the only thing they give is the staccatos and accents. I've done that. Otherwise, I've been connecting everything. Then the dynamics. Moderately loud, MF, mezzo forte. It's the melody, but here it's both hands are melodies, so it's going to be both hands. Whatever you think sort of loud is. That makes the accent a loud note because the accent takes it up a notch. So if I'm medium loud here, I'm going to be loud for the accent. And then moderately loud. And your first two lines are like that, and then the last line, now you're soft. Piano is soft. Very soft, pianissimo. And you stay there. You stay at a dynamic level until they give you another one. And since the last one they gave was very soft, you stay very soft, both hands. It's very light. Very little weight is being used here. And then there's a fermata at the end. You just hang on to that for a while, longer than 4 counts, but I don't know how long. It's just how long do you feel it. If I play it with a metronome, I'll double it and hold it for 8 counts instead of 4 so I can stay with a metronome. But otherwise, you just hang on to it and just listen to the sound die away, really. You don't have to wait till the sound totally dies away. You'll lift up eventually. Then the interpretation. Once you're comfortable with it, you're kind of getting into the music. Interpreting, well, they're already giving you some interpretation with the staccato and the accents and the dynamics. That's interpreting. Here we add the natural accents. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four. I exaggerate them so you can hear them better, but really you just want to feel this. As far as the phrasing goes, you have to listen to what sounds like a musical thought. It's almost like every measure is a thought, because we have a statement, reply, statement, reply. So there, I'm just lifting up between each measure. Now when it's a staccato, you have to disconnect it. The staccato tells you to, but it's like after a half note, lift up a little bit before you go on. It's like taking a breath. Now in this piece, there's nothing in the music to tell you to because we haven't had that symbol yet. But if you'd like to slow down a little bit at the end gradually, like last 2 measures, like you're winding down or something, that again is part of interpreting the music. So if you want to do that, put that in if you feel it. Let's play it together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do any of the dynamics, the louds and softs. I'm going to do it all about the same, but I will do the staccatos and accent. 1, 2, ready and go, and 1. And 4, and. 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 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, off.